from the EFDD group, Mr Farage.
Thank you. Well, Mr Varadkar, you are very popular here. A standing ovation from left and centre and right. Mr Juncker looking joyous. In fact, this European project could have no greater, stronger devotee for a militarised, expansionist United States of Europe. You, of course, worked here as a young man. You're a devotee. In fact, we should call you, I think, a European Unionist, whatever the cost to Ireland may be. Normally, of course, small countries count for nothing here. It's run by the big boys, but right at the minute, you're important and you're useful because you've helped with the obstructionism and the delay of Brexit. Firstly, on the Good Friday Agreement, where, as you know, the European Union had little or nothing to do with it. They were written in at a later stage, but of course, as everyone knows, nothing binds either side to continued membership of the Union, and you know the UK government intends to fully uphold it. The border issue has been put up as a problem, but I think your predecessor, Bertie Ahern, has said, look, in practical terms, we don't face a problem. There's been a common travel area between us, of course, for decades. But it is on trade where that border could, in some ways, be challenged. And of course, when you think that nearly 50% of exports from Irish-owned companies go to the United Kingdom, and agriculture in some sectors it's as high as 90%, you potentially have quite a lot to lose. And yet, despite the fact that no one should be fighting harder for a genuine, rounded trade deal than you, that doesn't appear to be the case. In fact, I'd even go further and say that if there was no trade deal between the European Union and the United Kingdom, an exception should be made for Ireland because of political sensitivity. And it's something that the World Trade Organization, I have no doubt, would back up. And yet it seems to me that you're prepared to put your devotion to the European project above the interest of Irish farmers and other companies too. And I wonder why. Well, let's cast our minds back a short distance. The rejection of the Lisbon Treaty by the Irish, a second referendum forced on their people, conducted on the most unfair, undemocratic lines that I have ever seen. You are part, of course, of a big attempt, here and elsewhere, to frustrate and to attempt to overturn Brexit. You don't want Britain to leave because you know if they do, others will leave too. And I would just say this to you. I don't want a second referendum on Brexit, absolutely not. But I fear that you are all working together with Tony Blair and Nick Clegg to make sure we get the worst possible deal. I say that because I've seen it all before. The difference is, if you force the Brits to do it again, there'll be a different outcome. Yeah.